Deep beneath the glittering streets of Paris lies a hidden world that most folks never get to see, a sprawling network of tunnels and ossuaries holding the bones of over 6 million souls. Can you believe that? The Paris catacombs stretch for more than 200 miles, acting as both a burial ground and a maze of history, darkness, and intrigue. Tourists only catch a glimpse of a tiny part of it. The official section is all lit up and neatly paved, with skulls stacked just so. But beyond those gates, it's a whole different story. We're talking pitch-black corridors, crumbling walls, flooded chambers, and miles of silence where the living rarely dare to tread. Now, picture this. In that forbidden part of the catacombs, sometime in the early 1990s, a discovery sent chills down the spines of even the bravest urban explorers. A group of cataphiles, that's what the locals call those adventurous souls who sneak into the restricted tunnels, were deep inside, armed with flashlights and handheld cameras. These weren't just reckless kids, they were seasoned explorers, totally familiar with the maze-like layout. As they navigated one of the uncharted passageways, they stumbled upon something truly bizarre. What could it be? The air grew heavier, and the tunnels felt colder, sending shivers down their spines. As their flashlights swept across the damp walls, they stumbled upon ancient graffiti, weird symbols, cryptic words, and arrows pointing deeper into the darkness, almost like a treasure map guiding them to something unknown. Curiosity outweighed their fear, and they pressed on, entering a long, winding corridor that was a chaotic graveyard of scattered bones. These human remains weren't stacked neatly like in the official ossuary. Instead, they were tossed around haphazardly, as if something or someone had disturbed this eerie resting place. That's when they found it, a camcorder, an old, handheld video camera half buried in dust and fragments of bone. They picked it up, thinking it might belong to another explorer who dropped it ages ago. But when they played it back later, what they saw made their blood run cold, and their hearts raced with a mix of dread and intrigue. The footage began like any other amateur exploration video: shaky camera work, muffled breathing, the glow of a flashlight slicing through darkness. The man filming was alone. His voice, echoing off the limestone walls, was calm at first. He documented his location, made small observations about the tunnels, and occasionally laughed nervously. But as he moved deeper, his tone shifted. He started breathing faster, his movements more erratic. Then came the sounds. At first, he heard faint footsteps behind him, just out of sync with his own. It was eerie, right? He stopped, and the steps stopped. He moved, and they moved. It felt like a twisted game of tag in the dark. Spinning around, he shined his light into the blackness, but there was nothing. Just cold walls, scattered bones, and that heavy silence. Then came the whispering. You can hear it faintly in the footage. Soft, indecipherable voices, like a ghostly conversation coming from somewhere ahead or maybe right behind him. Panic set in as he pressed on, his flashlight beam darting left and right, illuminating shadows that seemed to dance. His breathing turned to gasps, and he called out, "Hello!" His voice trembled, barely echoing back to him. The whispers grew louder, surrounding him like a fog, and that's when he started to run. The camera jerked wildly as he sprinted down passage after passage, deeper into the maze of despair. His breaths became desperate and ragged, each step echoing his fear. He stumbled and dropped the light. The screen went black, leaving only the sound of his frantic footsteps and panicked gasps filling the void. The camera caught glimpses of damp walls, skulls, and water dripping ominously. The whispers morphed into shouts, or cries, or something else entirely, sending chills down your spine. What was lurking in the shadows? And then, the final moment. The man drops the camera, it hits the ground, tilts upward. For a few seconds, you can see his feet as he runs off, the flashlight beam bouncing wildly. Then, he disappears from view. The camera keeps recording. You hear him running, then slowing, then silence. A few seconds later, there's a sound, faint, wet, like something dragging. The camera keeps rolling until the battery dies. No one knows who the man was. His body was never found. The footage ended up circulating among cataphiles and eventually online, often referred to as the Paris Catacombs Lost Tape. Many claim it's authentic, though skeptics call it a hoax or an art project gone wrong. But those who've been inside say the tunnels don't care whether you believe. They remember. Professional cavers who analyzed the tape noted that the man's location was deep in a section of the catacombs no longer accessible from the main entrances. Some believe he became lost, disoriented by the darkness, and died of dehydration or panic. Others say he encountered something else, not human. Because the catacombs have stories older than Paris itself. People have heard voices calling their names, seen shadows that move against the light, and felt hands brushing their shoulders when no one was there. One explorer swore he found a room filled with crosses and candles, burning steadily despite the lack of airflow. Another found a pentagram carved into the floor, surrounded by bones arranged in a circle. Police reports confirm at least a dozen people have gone missing underground since the 1970s, though unofficial counts suggest far more. Some bodies have been recovered months later, found curled in fetal positions, their faces contorted in terror. Others are simply gone, as if the tunnels swallowed them whole. In 2004, police conducting a training exercise stumbled into a hidden chamber, a fully functional underground cinema, complete with a screen, seating, and even a stocked bar. They found surveillance cameras watching the entrance and a note that read, "Do not try to find us." No one ever claimed responsibility. For centuries, the catacombs have drawn in all sorts of characters, artists looking for inspiration, rebels plotting their next move, occultists seeking the unknown, and those simply feeling lost in life. During the French Revolution, whispers filled the air about revolutionaries meeting in secret down there, planning their next big moves away from prying eyes. Fast forward to the 19th century, and you've got cults supposedly holding eerie rituals among the bones of the dead. Then, during World War II, both the French resistance and Nazi soldiers found refuge in those dark, twisting tunnels, using them for hideouts and traps. And through all of this, the bones remained silent witnesses to every bizarre tale that unfolded beneath the City of Light. They've seen it all, right? From the soft whispers of lost souls to the echoing footsteps of brave explorers who dare to wander into the depths. As for the man from the lost footage, some folks believe he's still down there, flashlight flickering, forever caught in a loop of fear, running through those dark, winding tunnels like a ghost. Can you even imagine that? Others think the camera was planted there as a chilling warning, a message from someone or something urging us to leave the catacombs alone, like a forbidden treasure chest just waiting to be ignored. Even now, explorers gather in hushed tones to swap stories about that infamous tape. It's not just the spine-tingling visuals that hook them, but the raw emotion it captured. You can almost feel the panic in his voice, the heavy breaths echoing his growing dread, and that creeping madness as he realizes he's lost, spiraling deeper into despair. It's wild, right? You can picture it. The way his heart must have raced, the sweat trickling down his back, the chilling realization that he's not alone in those dark tunnels. Meanwhile, up above in Paris, life buzzes on, cafes overflow with laughter, street musicians strum cheerful tunes, and lovers stroll hand in hand by the Seine, blissfully unaware of the darkness lurking below. But down there, in the endless shadows, a different world breathes, alive with secrets and stories just waiting to be uncovered. Somewhere in that suffocating darkness, a man's final scream still echoes, unanswered, haunting those shadows forever. Can you imagine the weight of that silence? It's like a ghost story that refuses to fade away, lingering in the air, right?